Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in today, chances are you're really feeling it. I'm talking about that deep, bone-weary exhaustion. You aren't just tired, you are running completely on empty. You're burnt out. And I want to start right off the bat by expressing some radical empathy for exactly where you are right now. Your severe burnout is real, your exhaustion is incredibly valid, and I want you to know that right now, rest isn't some luxury treat. Rest is your medicine. So today we're unpacking a brilliant framework from the Bare Minimum Blueprint for Burnout Recovery, and we're going to discover how to completely redesign your day from the ground up. Okay, let's dive into this because the very first thing we have to do is challenge that persistent, nagging urge you probably have to just push through it all. We're always taught that when things get tough, we should just grit our teeth and power forward. But here's the reality. When you are deeply, physically exhausted, relying on traditional productivity to dig yourself out of the hole actually sets you up for total failure. Pushing through isn't the cure right now. It's literally the poison. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact paradigm shift we need to make. A traditional routine focuses entirely on checking boxes, crossing things off lists, and getting things done. But a burnout routine, that shifts the focus entirely away from productivity and strictly towards energy preservation, nervous system regulation, and radical simplicity. Your absolutely only goal for the day under this new routine is to keep your household safe and loved, while actually leaving yourself with a tiny surplus of energy by bedtime. Now, to make this radical shift actually work in your real, everyday life, the blueprint reveals we have to adopt a totally new mindset. There are 3 core rules we need to ruthlessly protect your energy. And I say rules, not suggestions. If you are in severe burnout, these are your new laws of physics. Let's look at the very first one. This is the can it wait test. Before you do any household task, whether it's wiping down a kitchen counter, sorting through a pile of junk mail, or deciding you absolutely must organize a closet right now, I want you to stop, look at the task, and ask yourself, will anyone literally get hurt if I don't do this today? If the answer is no, drop it. Just leave it. The mail is still going to be there tomorrow. Your energy is way too precious right now to spend on a clean counter. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the 50% rule. This is huge. I want you to take whatever energy you think you have today and intentionally cut it right down the middle. Cut it in half. Say you wake up and feel like realistically you have the energy to tackle 2 chores. Well, you're only allowed to do 1. You are legally required by the burnout rules to save that extra 50% completely for your own recovery.
The third rule is to outsource and automate. If it is anywhere within your financial means, you need to automate whatever you possibly can. Get your groceries delivered to your door, buy the pre-chopped vegetables even if they cost a little bit more, let the clean laundry sit in the basket for an entire week. Seriously, let it become a permanent piece of furniture in the corner of your bedroom. You are buying back your own sanity and your physical energy.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual livable schedule. Here is your low-friction daily blueprint. We're going to break the day into 4 very distinct phases: the morning wake-up, the midday quiet hour, the late afternoon orbit, and the evening wind-down. Starting with the morning. The morning is all about nervous system pacing. Listen, right now, your nervous system is incredibly fragile. You need a really soft landing into the day. Minimize the chaotic morning rush by prepping breakfast the night before. I'm talking about leaving the cereal boxes and the bowls right out on the counter so the kids can just serve themselves. And here is the golden rule for you. Absolutely no looking at your phone first thing. Give yourself 5 to 10 minutes to just sit with a warm drink in total silence before you engage with anyone or anything. Next up is midday, and this brings us to the mandatory quiet hour. This is a non-negotiable rest period for recharging your batteries. Even if your kids have completely outgrown naps, introduce quiet room time where they read or listen to audiobooks in their own rooms. And listen to me very carefully on this one. Do not use this quiet hour to fold that laundry or quickly clean the kitchen. You use this time to close your eyes, take a breath, or literally just stare at the ceiling. Then we hit the late afternoon, focusing on low energy connection. We all know the 4 p.m. wall is very, very real. Instead of burning your absolute last fumes trying to actively entertain your kids or manage their boredom, bring them into what the source calls your low energy orbit. The whole strategy here is proximity over action. Build a little nest out of blankets on the couch or down on the floor. Let them bring their toys to you or just throw on a movie. You're present, they feel comforted just by having you near them, but your body gets to remain totally at rest. Finally, the evening. This is all about zero-effort dinners and early wind-downs. Lower the bar. In fact, drop the bar completely. Let go of all culinary expectations. If dinner is just a handful of crackers and a string cheese, guess what? That's a win. Use paper plates so there are absolutely zero dishes to wash afterward. Serve a frozen meal or do a snack plate dinner. Then, right after you eat, transition the whole house to dim lighting. This biologically signals everyone's brain that the day is officially over. Get the kids into their rooms early so the rest of that evening is entirely yours to decompress. Okay, so that is the macro blueprint for your day. But what about the micro moments? When stress suddenly flares up out of nowhere, let's pivot to the biology of calm. Look, when you are severely burned out, you absolutely do not have the mental bandwidth for a 30-minute meditation session. The good news? Your nervous system doesn't actually need 30 minutes to shift out of fight or flight mode. It just needs a 60-second biological circuit breaker. So let's look at 5 micro habits you can use anywhere at absolutely any time. The very first is the physiological sigh. Developed by neuroscientists, this is the absolute fastest biological way to reduce your autonomic arousal in real time. It's so simple. Here's how it works. Take 2 quick inhales through your nose, so that's 1 deep breath, followed immediately by a sharp top-off inhale, and then let out 1 long, very slow exhale through your mouth. Do this just 3 times. It takes maybe 20 seconds, but do it whenever you feel those shoulders creeping up to your ears. The second micro habit is the cold water shock reset. When you feel a massive wave of intense irritability coming on, you know the feeling. You need a physical pattern interrupter. Excuse yourself, walk to the bathroom, and splash freezing cold water directly on your face. Or just hold a cold, wet paper towel right against your eyes and cheekbones for about 30 seconds. So the crucial point is why this actually works. It's pretty amazing. The reason this works is because the cold water triggers something called the mammalian dive reflex. It stimulates your vagus nerve, which is essentially the main superhighway of your parasympathetic nervous system. It instantly forces your heart rate to drop and physically grounds your nervous system. It's literally an automatic biological override switch. Third is the 60-second sensory check-in. Burnout loves to trap your brain in these endless, anxious loops about something you did in the past or something you have to do in the future. This habit forces you back into the present physical moment. Stop wherever you are and silently name 3 things you can see right now. 2 things you can physically feel, like the texture of your shirt or your feet flat on the floor. And 1 thing you can hear, like the hum of the refrigerator. It's a super quick grounding anchor. Number 4 is the floor gravity release. Chronic stress causes us to unconsciously brace our muscles all day long, and that drains massive amounts of energy without us even realizing it. For this one, simply lie completely flat on the floor for 60 seconds. Consciously imagine exhaling your entire body weight right into the ground. Soften your jaw, let your belly relax, and just let the floor completely hold you up. It physically breaks that feedback loop of stress. The final micro habit is going explicitly palms up. Our body language sends massive, continuous signals to our brain. When we're stressed, we tend to clench our fists or tightly cross our arms. The next time you're sitting on the couch or just standing there waiting for a pot of water to boil, intentionally rest your hands in your lap with your palms facing straight up. In evolutionary biology, open palms signal complete safety and a lack of threat. It is an incredibly simple, subtle off switch for bodily tension. Now, a great routine only works if you actually remember to do it, right? The very best way to utilize these micro habits is to tie them to your existing daily triggers. Do not rely on your memory. Your brain is already tired. For example, make a rule that every single time you open the refrigerator door, you do 1 physiological sigh. Every time you wash your hands, you finish with a quick splash of cold water on your face. This weaves recovery directly into the automatic fabric of your day. As we wrap up, I really want to address the guilt, because you might look at this low-effort routine and feel that parent guilt creeping right in, whispering that you just aren't doing enough. Let go of the parent guilt. The source material offers this incredibly powerful reminder, and it hits the nail right on the head. A calm, resting parent who relies on screen time is infinitely better for a child than an intensely stressed parent. Let go of the organic home-cooked meals and the perfect weekend activities. What your kids genuinely need most right now is a regulated, calm version of you. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly empowering question to close out this explainer. I want you to look at your massive to-do list. Look at the towering expectations you've placed on your own shoulders and ask yourself, what can you completely let go of today? Give yourself the ultimate guilt-free permission to do the absolute bare minimum so you can finally start to heal. Thanks for learning with me today, and please remember to protect your energy.